Well, I could finish it and then I can repeat it. All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the IPFW Athletic Center, where tonight the Great Lakes Valley Conference ball game between the women of Lewis University at Romeoville, Illinois, the Lady Flyers, play the IPFW Mastodons. Again, in a Great Lakes Valley Conference encounter on Saturday evening here as we approach the tip-off time and the starting lineups for tonight's game. Prior to our having the national anthem, we'll give you quickly those starting lineups. For Lewis University, number 11, Krista Eshu. Number 24, Jackie Wayne. Number 31, Nancy Nego. Number 32, Donna Abradovitz. And number 51, Chris Toscas. For the Mastodons of IPFW, Tina Manier, number 21, Amy Newhouser, number 23, Lisa Miller, number 24, Pam Edwards, number 42, and Robin Scott, number 45. Glad to have you with us tonight. This is Dave Skelton along with Dan Gebhardt from, again, the IPFW Athletic Center as we approach tip-off for this Great Lakes Valley Conference basketball game tonight. Lewis on the attack with the tip on the first possession of the ball game, and we get a shot up and in by number 51, Chris Toscas. Dan, Chris is one of those that we'll probably hear a lot about tonight. She's an active ball player in the middle and does a lot of scoring.
Well, she's third in the conference right now, Dave, in points per game and first in the conference in rebounding, so we expect to call her a lot. That girl with the ball right there, Lisa Miller's second in the conference, so we ought to see a real offensive battle between those two players.
And at the moment, Lewis is really packed in a zone defense back around the lane, made it real difficult for IPFW to move the ball, and then they quickly come down on the attack. Jump shot up and in by this time number 31, Nancy Nego.
Another familiar name to longtime IPFW fans. She's the seventh Nego to play at Lewis.
Lisa Miller did a nice job that time of following her first missed shot, put a second one up, rebound. Now she scores, so it gets IPFW on the board. And we have a 4-2 score. Yeah, the Nego name, brothers and sisters at that school for the last several years. Again, Lewis with the ball. Nancy Nego out the top, and we see a long jump shot, this time by number 32, Donna Abradovitz. And we have a 6-2 score. Less than a minute and a half played here. Pam Edwards ready to inbound the ball to Tina Manier. And IPFW on the attack. Again, Lewis with that zone defense that's packed around in the middle very tightly. Going to make it very difficult to move inside.
Well, I think that IPFW is going to have to move the ball much quicker than they are right now. Right now they're trying to hold the ball, look inside, and then pass the ball. They're going to have to move it around the horn very quickly to beat that zone and try to get the ball inside if indeed that's what they're attempting to do.
And the Mastodons do have the outside shooting, so that they can probably relieve some of that inside pressure here soon.
Well, expect Tina Merrill to come in fairly quickly if we don't get the ball inside the paint to score a couple buckets.
Three-pointer on its way from the top by Nego. She misses, but the rebound by number 11, Krista Eshu, and she was fouled on that attempt. Pam Edwards draws her first foul. And shooting 2 free throws will be Krista Eshu. The Flyers of Lewis, Dan, come in with just a 2-4 conference record, but they are playing very sharply here at the first couple of minutes of this ball game.
Well, you hit it on the head, Dave. They have an 8-5 overall record and 2-4 in the conference. So this conference is very, very strong from top to bottom. They obviously did very well in their non-conference schedule, and they're looking like maybe they've got that form back.
And Krista hits both free throws, so that Lewis jumping off here to an 8-2 lead. Tina Manier quickly down the floor. IPFW moving the ball down the right side. Lisa Miller with the jump shot. And again, she hits. Lisa's second jumper. 8-4. Just a little over 2 minutes have been played. IPFW with a man-to-man defense, which is harassing the Flyers pretty well. Robin Scott picks the ball off. Amy Newhouser down quickly. Passes to Pam Edwards. They shut it off. Now Robin Scott looks for a possible shot. So far, there aren't too many of them looking for the shot, Dan.
No.
Lisa is. Robin will probably if she gets a chance. Amy might if she's inside. Puts it up, no good. And Pam Edwards could not come out with the rebound.
No, right now IPFW on offense is content to just work the ball around the outside, not very quickly.
And there we see Chris Toscas with a jumper, turnaround jumper in the lane.
Dave, she's 3 inches bigger than anybody we have on the floor, and she's just going to maybe make herself felt inside there, and that's what she needs to do if she wants to accomplish.
Yeah, the defense is going to have to work real hard on her. And there we see a little careless ball handling with the Mastodons. We're going to have to just pick the sharpness up a notch here on both offense and defense. Down the left side, inside to Toscas. Robin Scott tried that time, but again, that size difference might have been the problem she had.
Well, I wanted to mention, you talked about they're going to have to play defense on Chris Toscas inside, and Robin did a very good job the possession before last of fronting her as she came across the lane and intercepting the pass. And that time, Robin was just a step late and slapped down with her hands. You got to keep those hands away from the body, or you're going to pick up those fouls.
So Chris Toscas misses the first free throw with a 10-4 lead. Not quite 3.5 minutes of action has gone by here this evening. And Chris Toscas hits the second free throw, so it's 11-4. Lewis on top of IPFW. And there we see one of those tough calls. Is it a charge? It is a block. Well, this time it's a charge because that guy over there in the striped shirt says so.
Well, you're right. That's a close call. The defensive player was there, but you have to give the offensive player a chance to take one step after catching the ball, and that was a very, very close call. But it did go against IPFW, and right now that's their third foul already in this first half of the ballgame.
And so far there have been no fouls called against Lewis, so now that there have. I think this one will go against number 24, Jackie Wayne. Indiana Purdue will inbound the ball against some pressure defense. Dan, seems like the last 3 or 4 games we've seen in this conference, we've seen that full court pressure from every team. Well, different versions, but
I think what that does is tries to effect some continuity in the play of the teams, and I think that's why coaches are going more and more to that.
Keeps that intensity up. Robin Scott tried to go down the lane that time and got blocked. And Tina Manier comes back. Okay, Pam Edwards back up, no good.
That's just great defensive play on the defensive end by Lewis there with 2 blocks in a row by Chris Toscas. I believe she's one of the leading statistical leaders in the conference in block shots, and she got 2 right there in a row.
She did a nice job there because she went up high, tipped the ball away without making any contact. And we see a 2-point jump shot by Amy Newhouser.
But that's what's going to have to happen, Dave. They're going to have to hit that 15 to 20-foot shot if they hope to break that zone up.
And I think they're going to have that shot to take if they will just stay with it. Robin Scott rebounds the miss by Lewis. Amy Newhouser up court very fast. Tina Manier slows it down. Robin Scott inside, another block shot. Lisa Miller goes up this time, and she draws the foul. Well, very active defense inside by Lewis.
But the IPFW Lady Duns can't be intimidated by that. They've got to keep taking that ball inside strong. That's where they're strong. They've got to hit that facing shot and keep the ball moving inside, not take a shot if you don't have it. But Lisa Miller did very well there, being very strong going to the bucket. I mentioned last game, I believe about a third of her points come from the free throw line because she placed the one in the basket. She just did a really nice job there.
That foul was number 2 on Jackie Wayne, so she draws a rest here as Lisa Miller hits the first free throw. And Jackie Wayne is replaced by Julie Harris, number 15, in the Lewis lineup. Lisa Miller with both free throws closes IPFW to within an 11-8 count with Lewis. Turnaround jump shot, and it'll be a travel call against the Lady Flyers. Chris Toscas got up in the air that time and no place to go.
Well, IPFW didn't do a very good job keeping the ball from her, but they did a very good job of keeping her from passing the ball. She got up in the air, didn't have anything to do with it, and came back down, and that's a traveling call.
IPFW quickly down the floor. Chance to draw within 1 or perhaps tie if they could hit a 3-pointer. Amy Newhouser with the 2-point jump shot, bounces up and in, and we have a 1-point game. And now good pressure by the IPFW defense. Lewis quickly down, and ball tipped away. IPFW coming the other way.
Great hustle on Robin Scott's part to get back and knock
did
that
a
ball
nice
loose.
job. And then we see travel so that it'll return the ball. Not sure I agree with that one, but maybe so.
IPFW trying to get back in the transition game quicker than Lewis can get back to play defense, and Tina Manier just had to stop and drug her foot.
And I think maybe IPFW has picked up the tempo a little bit, as we see now a jump shot by Krista Eshu puts Lewis back on top by 3. And Indiana Purdue started the game a little slower pace. Now they picked it up, and Lisa Miller again for 2. Nego with a long jump shot, 3-pointer. First 3-point basket of the evening by Nancy Nego. There may be some additional attempts coming up, as I see Tina Merrill checking into the IPFW lineup. If the first dead ball, she'll be into the ball game. Robin Scott, far right, off to Tina Manier. Lisa Miller with the ball. IPFW patiently working the ball around, and now we see a 3-point attempt. A little short. Robin Scott rebounds, goes back up, no good. Lisa Miller picks up the loose ball and puts it in.
I think Robin thought she got fouled there and kind of quit. Yeah, to go strong to the bucket.
2 or 3 others on our team thought she got fouled too, and they all stood there. Fortunately, Lisa took the ball and went to the hoop. Pass inside, fumbled, and the IPFW picks up the ball. And they have a 5-on-2 break if they can handle it here now and get the 2 points. Mishandle a bit, still have an opportunity, but wisely didn't force it. So now they can come back out. Robin Scott with a free throw that could be 2, no good. Lisa Miller tipped the ball away, but Lewis controls. Robin Scott alertly on the steal and coming down quickly. Tina Manier with the ball inside to Lisa Miller. And on the arm, a foul will be called against Julie Harris, number 15.
Well, both teams have picked up the tempo, Dave. As you mentioned, IPFW certainly has, and Lewis has tried to get right in that running game too, and that's causing them to be a little bit out of sync right now. But look for both teams to fall into a pattern here and run their offenses and do things right. They're both very, very good and very, very skilled, so we can expect this to be a very good game.
Yeah, at this pace and as well as they're playing, this will be a dandy. Tina Merrill has checked in for IPFW, as has Don Harbaugh, and there goes a 3-point attempt, and it's good to give the Mastodons their first lead of the night at 17-16.
Well, and that's what it's going to take to break that zone, too. They're going to have to come out and cover Tina and Amy Newhouser, who's hit a couple shots from the outside, so they won't be able to pack it in so tight.
I noticed that Tina Merrill has a heavily bandaged left ankle. And we see some good hustle by Lisa Miller underneath the basket. And on the alternate possession, that jump ball possession will go to IPFW.
Number 51 from Lewis, Chris Toscas in there on the tie-up. She's going to be in a lot of plays, I think, rebounding and offensively scoring the point.
She's the heart of their team, although the other ladies are good.
Well, I think we're going to see a similar pattern here. Both teams are going to substitute a lot. I was looking down the scoring, and Lewis has got about 9 players who score above 8 points a game, so a lot of players are going to see a lot of time.
Tina Merrill puts up the outside shot and misses. Lewis again on the attack. Coming down on the left side, looking inside for Chris Toscas. Robin Scott's doing a pretty good job. She's holding her ground against Chris Toscas and picks the ball off that time. And then they get it back. Don Harbaugh down quickly for IPFW. Tina Merrill with another 3 possibility. No. And rebound. Jump ball called, and this time the alternate possession will go to Lewis.
Well, that's two times in a row, Dave, where Tina has missed that 3-point shot after hitting the first one, and it appears to me she's just not taking that extra half a second to get set and a follow-through. She just kind of shot-putting the ball, and she needs to get that good follow-through.
Maybe as she loosens up a little bit more, that will come for her. Good pressure by the Mastodons. And an inside move by Julie Harris puts the ball up and in. And again, Lisa Miller hits the deck. So Lewis has regained that lead, 20-17. Shelly Sands inside. Good move. Missed the layup. Lisa Miller really battling inside, Dan, and picks up another 2 points.
Dave, that's her 12th point here, and we've only played less than 9 minutes of this first half.
And probably 8 of those have come the hard way.
Right.
Chris Toscas with the outside jump shot. No good. Lisa Miller rebounds. And here come the Mastodons. Dawn Harbaugh looked away, and when she looked away, the ball was stolen away. Both teams going up and down the floor very quickly. Shelly Sands rebounds, and out we come again. Rushed the shot a little bit, but maybe not too bad, because putting it up gave a 2. And then we get a travel against IPFW. And it would appear that Lewis wants a timeout. Pace has been pretty heavy, and I don't doubt at all that they'd like to have a timeout.
Well, you know, actually, Dave, we've seen very good job done here is defensive play on both teams. Both teams are trying to get out very quickly in a transition and are often getting a 3-on-1, 3-on-2 break, and both teams have played defensively pretty well. There hasn't been a lot of points scored off those fast break efforts, even though they've had a 1 or 2 person advantage.
It's been a good ball game. A lot of action. Been exciting, moving up and down, very quick. And a nice ball game to watch.
Well, both teams are averaging over 80 points a game offensively, so we expect to see a lot.
And they're just about on target.
That's right.
A little less than 10 minutes being played, and Lewis has 20 points, IPFW 19. There we see a shot of the standings of the Great Lakes Valley Conference. You'll note that St. Joe is on top at 5-0. IPFW is right on their heels at 5-1, as is Bellarmine. And Lewis at 2-3. Still not out of the race at all, and right back there in the middle of the pack where they could make a move.
Well, and actually those have not been updated since the 15th, and Lewis lost Thursday night at Ashland, 80-72, so they're actually 2-4. But in reading their press releases, they had St. Joe, who is 14-0 overall, I believe, down at halftime, 44-39. Yeah. So capable of anything on any night in this conference.
And they lost the game right down at the wire, didn't they, against St. Joe?
Not sure what that final score was, Dave, but they're a very capable ball club.
Lewis inbounds the ball, and again, pressure defense. Both teams exerting full court pressure defense. IPFW in a man-to-man defense as we see the drive to the basket cut off, but the kick back out to a jump shot by Julie Harris. Tina Merrill in the deep right-hand corner. Comes across the lane, looks for a pass off. Has the ball stolen. Krista Eschew. And she misses the layup. Pam Edwards saves the ball. We've got a 3-on-1 break, and we miss fire on the pass. And we see good hustle by Shelly Sands. And that ball just happened to be dropped into the right place, and Lewis came up with 2 points.
IPFW got a little careless there, overpassed the ball. Dawn Harbaugh should have taken that 5-foot shot instead of trying to pass across the defense.
And we see Pam Edwards taking a move inside, which she probably needs to do to make Chris Toscas play the defense. The foul was drawn on Chris Toscas. Pam Edwards will go to the line to shoot 2.
Well, Pam's a freshman and has done a very nice job for Terry Rosinski this year. But as you said, she's got to do a little maturing and be able to take that ball inside with some strength.
First free throw is up and good. And a couple of the substitutions coming in for Lewis, and they don't lose much in size, Dan.
Very big ball club, Lewis is.
Jackie Wayne, number 24, listed at 6'2". That's a tall girl. Pam's second shot is good. So that Indiana Purdue draws within 3 at 24-21. Quickly down the floor. Lewis with the shot. And Tina Manier is called for the foul.
Both teams have got to remember, Dave, on their pressure full court defense, that they're not going to necessarily get the ball every time. They're trying to work, but they've got to know that once the ball gets past that line of defense that they're on, they've got to hustle, just turn around and run back and play defense. And in that case there, they had a 2-on-1 and were able to draw the foul from Tina Manier.
The long outside shot that time was missed, and Tina Merrill did a nice job on the rebound. Good position. Tina's wide open over on the left wing. Lewis University, very scrappy on the defense. Very scrappy.
Very quick hands, Dave.
Yes,
They're knocking the ball loose.
That's the move we need. Got to go inside and at least take some inside shots.
But you can't fall away with it. She's got to take it to the bucket.
Yeah.
She fell backwards on the shot.
Baseline, and then back out to number 22. Renee Kanak. Robin Scott and Lisa Miller waiting to return to the IPFW lineup. Nice save. Very good hustle. Bradovitz down to Jackie Wayne, and Lewis makes a quick spurt here and opens up a 7-point lead. Tina Merrill with the 3-point. That was a big basket. They needed that.
They had just given up 6 straight points, and as I mentioned, they didn't hustle back after the ball got past the line of defense, and Lewis was able to get a quick, undefended 2 points.
Good try that time. The defense had caused some of the ball to be loose underneath, but we couldn't quite come up with it. IPFW, Dan, came out tonight and almost played at about the same pace they did Thursday night, which was not their best pace.
No.
But they've begun to pick it up a bit.
Well, the problem we saw Thursday night was they couldn't get any continuity going in the game. They were streaky, and tonight they at least seem to be pretty consistent in their play.
And it will be interesting to see if Lewis can maintain their high-level intensity for the whole ball game.
This is a very good defensive series for IPFW now. That's 3 times they've made Lewis take the ball out of bounds.
Lewis inbounds the ball with 18 seconds on the shot clock, and they throw it away. So Indiana Purdue put on good defense that time and kept it up, and then can't keep the ball. Pam wanted to pass off and stop and drug the foot. Called for the violation.
Well, that was a case where the guards wanted to get down the court too fast and didn't come back to help her, and she didn't have anything to do with the ball and ended up dragging her back foot.
Chris Toscas back into the lineup for Lewis. Lisa Miller on the rebound with a missed 3-point try. Tina Manier in quickly. Amy Newhouser, nice move inside. Layup, 2 points.
That was a very difficult move for Amy. She very easily could have picked up the charge and was able to take a sidestep and get the bucket.
Had excellent control and saw the opening, got right to it, as this young lady just did for Lewis, but she missed the layup. And rebound, though, up and in by number 32, Donna Abradovitz. IPFW quickly down, ball on the right side, looking inside, nothing there. And Tina Manier just kind of lost the ball. Nobody took it away. And good hustle by Robin Scott. She stopped automatic 2 and didn't draw the foul.
But a real strategic error by Tina Manier. Tina Manier made a bad pass and went for the ball instead of getting back to play defense. She was the back line, and as soon as they got past her, when she missed a steal attempt, there was nobody back. Robin Scott coming out of nowhere to block that shot out of bounds and at least give the defense a chance to set up here. Nice replay there. There you see nobody at all. Just great hustle on Robin Scott's part. Dave, she's giving away a number of inches to Toscas inside, but she looks to appear to be as strong as Toscas.
Playing great defense.
Right.
Playing great defense. And there we see Tina Manier with good control of the ball, drawing the foul. It's only the 5th team foul against Lewis, 4 against IPFW, so we're not likely to see too many 1-on-1 attempts in this half. IPFW with the ball. They trail by 4 points with 6 minutes and 40 seconds left in this ball game. Lisa Miller with the move, passes out to Amy Newhouser. Ball tied up just on a hustle play. Robin let Chris Toscas come down with the ball and then grabbed it.
Take that back one step, though, Dave, on Amy Newhouser's shot. She's just rushing it. We just need to take our time a little bit. They're so worried that they're going to get the shot blocked that they're rushing that shot and they're not getting a good setup.
Lewis has gone away from that packed-in zone defense that they had earlier in the game and is now playing a very sticky, tight man-to-man defense. They're aggressive, as you see right there.
Well, she's going to get called for the hook there, but she was trying to step in front and keep the ball from getting into Lisa Miller. As we mentioned, Lisa had 12 points early in the ball game and then went out for a rest. She's trying to get back in, and Krista Eshu didn't want to let her have the ball inside.
Ball in a deep corner to Tina Merrill. She moves inside, kicks back out to Amy Newhouser. Three-pointer by Tina Merrill. And IPFW draws within one at the 6-minute mark of the first half. Tina had thoughts about a steal that time, and a nice block. And again, Robin Scott playing just great inside defense. But is it tough and aggressive in there? Is it tough?
Both teams are not going to quit here, Dave.
No, they're not.
I think Dawn Harbaugh got the block on that last shot of Chris Toscas, and Robin picked it up, but it got loose underneath there, and it was a tie-up. So the ball in alternating possessions will go to Lewis.
Long outside three-pointer, this time by number 32, Donna Abradovitz. IPFW quickly down the floor. Lisa Miller with the ball in the lane. Ball was kicked by the defense.
Dave, it appears IPFW is trying to do the right things, but their passing is just not crisp. It's a little bit slow, giving Lewis a chance to get a hand on the ball, knock it askew a little bit, and they're just they can't get the ball around the horn quick enough to beat the defense back.
But I think you're right. They're trying to do the right things. So if they'll stay with those things, the fundamentals that they want to do, hopefully Lewis's defensive pressure will drop off here in a little bit. Somebody's got to move to the ball. Inbounds the ball. Tina Merrill out to the top of the key inside to Robin Scott. Good ball movement that time, and a baseline jumper by Dawn Harbaugh.
Great play by Robin Scott. Tina Merrill passed the ball inside to Robin. She quickly got it out to the facing 15-footer to Dawn Harbaugh.
I don't know about that call. I think I have to agree with Lisa Miller. She didn't like it.
No, and came very close to getting a tee. I thought the official was going to give her a second look, but he didn't call it. So
maybe that indicates that he knew he wasn't quite right. Indiana Purdue down with the ball. Amy Newhouser off to Lisa Miller.
There's the quick movement we talked about.
Go back up with it. Go ahead. There we go. All right, Robin Scott. Stayed right with it.
And that's Robin's first bucket, and you wouldn't believe it the way she's played tonight, but she's just done things well at both ends of the court, offensively and defensively.
And that may put IPFW into the 1-and-1. Ball got a little bit out of control. I think Amy Newhouser got clobbered, and
well, in the last minute and a half, Dave, IPFW has started to crispen up their offense a little bit and appears to be moving the ball very well and setting picks and looking for the open person. And they've tied the score up here at 33 all with 4:45 left in the first half.
Well, we had noted that Lewis was very aggressive, but IPFW has not let that intimidate them. As we see Amy Newhouser hit the free throw, and IPFW again draws out to a 1-point lead. They now lead 34-33. As Amy attempts her second free throw.
And that may be the first lead of the game, is it, Dave?
That's the second time, but this is the first time by 2 points. They had a 1-point lead just minutes ago, and then fell behind by about 5 again. As Lewis comes down. Inside, a miss by, there we see the aggressive play. And they keep the ball up high and keep going over.
Well, the aggressive defensive play of IPFW is throwing Chris Toscas off. We've talked about it at the other end of the court of Lewis's hand slapping and quick hands and those kinds of things throwing IPFW off. Well, the same thing's happening on the other side of the other end of the court. Chris Toscas has missed a couple in-close shots because of IPFW's strong defense.
And they've been right there on her.
Robin Scott in particular has done a very nice job of closing down the passing lanes and not allowing her to get the ball as much as she'd like. But even when she gets it, she's being harassed by a number of players.
So Lisa Miller will go to the free throw line to shoot the 1-and-1.
And that was the third foul on Julie Harris, Dave. She was not a starter, but she's played a considerable amount here in the first half.
Yes, she did. Lisa hits the first free throw, and the second attempt is coming up.
This is for her 14th point of the half.
Up and in. And she's being replaced inside on a well-deserved rest. Pam Edwards back into the lineup. Shelly Sands looks like will draw some of that assignment on the inside defense, as Robin Scott also getting a rest. And it just could be that fatigue is setting in just a little bit maybe on the Lady Flyers, as a nice pass and a nice layup by Amy Newhouser. Hits the layup, is fouled. I believe the pass came in from Dawn Harbaugh, didn't it?
Right, sure did. Nice, looked underneath and got the ball, and Amy was able, with good body control, to take the ball to the basket.
And all of a sudden we look up, and now we see on the scoreboard with a little over 4 minutes to go, IPFW 39, Lewis 33.
And you talked about fatigue setting in. Chris Toscas is certainly expected to handle a big load here for the offense of Lewis, and she's being, as I said, there's somebody around her at all times. There you saw the replay of Amy Newhouser's bucket, a good pass from Dawn Harbaugh. But at the other end of the court, Chris Toscas is expected to handle a big load, and it's tough. I mean, when you're the gun inside,
that's right.
And they're a big ball club, but she seems to be the one mixing it up the most down on the baseline there.
I think this may be something like a 10-point run for IPFW. I think maybe they were down.
I think they were down by 4. I think you're right, Dave. I think it was 33 to 29, and it's now 39 to 33, so it's a 10-0 run.
It's been a nice push for them, because they've done it with aggressiveness and heads-up play.
Well, and as I said, I think the consistency is there tonight that we did not see Thursday night in the win over Kentucky State. Certainly you take a win anytime you can get it, but I'm sure that Coach Rosinski in her team meeting on Friday said we've got to play with more consistency. We've got to do the things we work on in practice, and maybe because it came so easy at times in that game, they just got away from that. But tonight it appears that their intensity levels is very high, and they're trying to do the things they need to do.
Yeah, they started out just a little sluggish, but once they've gotten into the tempo of this game, it has been Amy Newhouser to the line. Free throw up, no good. Shelly Sands on the rebound, and it's a jump ball. Alternate possession will go to IPFW.
Dave, I think that's the 5th or 6th alternate possession we've seen here the first half. We may go a whole ball game and see only 2 of those, and we've seen a number this first half.
Well, for Shelly's effort, she has to know that it was worth it, because that means the next time the ball is ours. Ball at the top of the key. Donna Bradovitz. Good defense by Tina Merrill. Shoots the long jumper, no good. And inside on the layup, Nego. Ball quickly down the floor, Dawn Harbaugh. IPFW really moving the ball quickly now. And we have a travel call against Shelly Sands. Lisa Miller, Robin Scott back into the lineup, replacing Tina Merrill and Pam Edwards. 39-35, 3 minutes and 30 seconds to play. IPFW in the lead. Nice drop-off pass, but again, the pass was short, our shot was short. And the Lady Dons are battling those big kids from Lewis very nicely underneath the bucket now, Dan.
But the height advantage for Lewis is really showing in their day. They're often getting 2 or 3 attempts at the bucket, but so far that ball hasn't gone in. So.
.309 left in the first half. 39-35, IPFW in the lead. And with the ball, 22 seconds on the shot clock. Lisa Miller down the left side. They're looking inside. Amy Newhouser with the ball back outside. Nice drop-off pass. No good. Ball out of bounds. Oh, not out of bounds. Saved by Amy Newhouser. Robin Scott on the move to the basket. No good. IPFW keeps the ball. Good hustle. Nice fake by Lisa Miller, and then on her way to the basket, she draws the foul.
IPFW did a nice job there of taking the ball back out and not trying to force it back underneath right away. And we're able to then draw the foul with Lisa Miller taking the drive down the lane.
And that's awfully good hustle when you come up with the loose ball 3 or 4 times in a row.
They call that foul on number 24, Jackie Wayne, and I've got her for 3. So now Lewis has 3 players, number 15, Julie Harrison, or 2 players, number 15, Julie Harris, and number 24, Jackie Wayne, with 2 fouls each.
And Jackie is one of their taller players. As we see Lisa Miller with a rare miss from the free throw line. Good look at Lisa as she eyes for the shot. It's up and in. 40-35, IPFW.
That's one foul you don't want to pick up there, Dave. That's just doesn't do you much good, and it's a cheap one. And you certainly don't want Lisa Miller to pick up that foul, even though it's only her first foul. It's only the 5th foul on the team this half.
So it still will not put Lewis to the line and for a 1-and-1. Nancy Nego bringing the ball up the court. Chris Toskis coming out high that time. And inside pass up and in by Krista Eshu, number 11. Lewis moved the ball very well that time offensively. Robin Scott moves inside, loses the ball. And we see a little streak now going the Lewis way, but good hustle by Tina Manier that time to block the layup attempt, and the ball will be out of bounds to Lewis underneath their own basket. Coach Rosinski is subbing and keeping everybody as fresh as possible. The pace is very hectic.
Yeah, which is very important in a game like this.
2 attempts inside that time by Chris Toskis, and both of them came up a little short.
Tina Manier needs to get rid of the ball just a little bit sooner. She's giving it to the breaking player just a little bit late, not giving him time to handle the ball inside. Nice block on the inside by number 24.
Things got awfully tight inside, but there's that jump ball that will go IPFW's way. And as you look at a couple of the Lady Flyers from Lewis, particularly number 24, Jackie Wayne, hands on hip, breathing heavily, so she's a little tired. And Chris Toskis, as we have said, her shots have begun to fall a little short.
Well, she had 9 points early in the half and hasn't scored since, even though she's had a number of attempts.
Yeah, and a lot of them inside. And nice move down the lane by Tina Merrill, but she misses the shot by Robin Scott. Tips it loose. Lewis comes up with the ball. Nancy Niego. And again, Robin Scott very alertly grabs the ball. Thinks she was maybe knocked down.
Well, I think she was actually pulled down, Dave. It appeared that Toskis, in going for the ball, ended up grabbing her shoulder and pulling her with her, and the official did not see that and called traveling on Robin.
Oh, there they get a quickie inside.
IPFW doesn't have time to pout about that call. They got to get right back and play defense, and there they let their defense down just a little bit.
Tina Merrill with the long three-pointer, and it's good.
That's her 4th of the half, Dave.
She looked around, found herself wide open, and said, okay, I'll take it. Good defensive pressure by IPFW. And it looks like there's going to be a push-off foul called against the Lewis Flyers on number 51, Chris Toskis.
That's her 2nd foul. And Dave, she really looks tired right now.
Yes, she does.
I'm sure she's looking for this next 32 seconds to end so she can get down in the locker room and get that rest.
.32 to go in the first half. Robin Scott will go to the free throw line to shoot 1-and-1. Indiana Purdue 43, Lewis University 39. And there you see Robin Scott as she prepares for her free throw. First one up and in.
Dave, that's only her 3rd point, but way below her 13.4 points per game average, but she just played a whale of a ball game.
Yeah, the value she's contributed tonight isn't in those points. The second one also good. And again, that lead stretches out to 6. IPFW with good defensive pressure. Man-to-man defense. Tina Merrill picked, and that's happened a number of times. They've just gotten a hand on the ball. Didn't quite pick it off. Lewis got it back, gets the 2 points back. But credit Lewis with being alert on the loose balls. Amy Newhauser had the possible move there. Tina Manier puts up the 3-point attempt and no good. And we come to the end of the first half. A well-played, fast-paced Great Lakes Valley Conference women's basketball game. A good a game as you can probably see, Dan, as the IPFW Lady Mastodons go to the locker room with a 45-41 lead.
Well, I'm not sure what either coach is going to say to their players other than to try to maintain the intensity that they've built this first half, because neither team has done very many things wrong. They've done things quickly. As I said, I think IPFW needs to concentrate on, particularly on their pressure defense. Once the ball gets past a line of defenses, everybody else has got to run back and play defense at the defensive end. But both teams playing very well.
It does look like that maybe the conditioning edge and the depth of the bench strength might be in Indiana Purdue's favor in terms of the strength of the ball clubs come the end of the ball game.
Well, and it certainly appeared that way. Now, we're biased in our viewing probably, but it certainly appeared that Lewis was more tired than IPFW. And you're right, that's going to be real telling with this kind of a ball game if the intensity and the speed of the back and forth play continues for the whole second half.
And there you see the score again, halftime. Indiana Purdue Lady Dons 45, Lewis Lady Flyers 41.
Dave, you might want to mention that after this ball game, we're going to have the men's Great Lakes Valley Conference game between these same two schools. And I think what you have here in both cases is the team that's been on top for a number of years, maybe on a little bit of a downslide for both men and women, and the young upstart Mastodons playing very well, although the men with a 2-4 conference record are disappointed where they stand right now. They've been playing very, very good ball this year and are undefeated outside the conference. And as we talked about many, many times, this conference is just as tough as nails from top to bottom, both men's and women's.
Yeah.
But it should be a very good ball game.
And for the men's team, 3 of those 4 conference losses were all by a heartbeat right at the end of the game. All 3 of them.
Yep.
And they could very well have been 5-1. And we invite you to stay tuned now as we're going to have a tape for your viewing pleasure here during the halftime entitled What If? So please stay tuned for the tape What If?
There are certain things we've come to expect in northeastern Indiana. An area with abundant natural resources, of solid economic growth, and a region with a strong history and a sense of direction for the future. If any part of our surroundings were removed, all our lives would be changed more than we realize. For example, what if there were no IPFW? What if more than 23,000 graduates were removed from the job market? What if special education and training programs were no longer available to companies like General Motors, Magnavox, and General Electric? And what if our community were not able to benefit from university performing arts and fine arts programs? What if there were no IPFW? IPFW has been recognized for its strong undergraduate programs and the excellence of its faculty. Each semester, 11,000 students are enrolled in more than 130 degree programs. Unfortunately, this is where many people's knowledge of this urban campus ends. But whether you know it or not, IPFW has affected your life. Since its beginning in 1964, the joint campus of Indiana University and Purdue University at Fort Wayne strived for excellence, and in doing so has grown into an integral part of our economic growth in northeastern Indiana.
Generally, when I talk to business people, the question will come up as to what institutions of higher learning are in the vicinity, and most of them aren't familiar with the system that we have here with adjoined Indiana University, Purdue University. We try to sell it in terms of we've got two great institutions that are working together here.
I think businesses are going to come in areas where there are strong academic organizations or academic institutions. And I think the stronger that IPFW is, the more they can contribute to the business community, the more business is going to come to Fort Wayne.
It's one of the aspects they look at. A lot of communities are the same. There's a lot of communities that can offer land, some economic incentives, but not every community can offer the institution of higher learning and the other quality of life things that become important when you've got close decisions to make in terms of locating a business.
I constantly hear of people who are going back to school and who are trying to get an MBA, or who are trying to work in dental hygienics, or trying to work in speech and hearing. Many pre-professional tracks are available here.
IPFW has a strong economic impact in the Fort Wayne area. First of all, it's a large institution. It brings a lot of people in, people that spend money, professors, students, people that come for conferences, NCAA volleyball tournaments, national tournaments like we had last year. All of that adds to the economic growth and vitality of the region. But in addition to the people that it brings in, it's clearly important in attracting other businesses and in fostering economic development.
When we first got here, we had one training center located on the other side of town, the old Harvester Scout Plant, I believe it was. We had approximately 15 classrooms. When we got into the bulk of training on the day shift, when we had approximately 12 to 1,500 people going through at one time, we didn't have the space. So we had to find some place that we could hold class. This is where IPFW came in handy, because they allowed us during the summertime, which was our peak time, to use their classroom. IPFW responded and taught math to our skilled trades people, geometry to our carpenters, for example, to enable us to have the workforce that we do.
And a number of business people talk about the importance of having engineering degrees and having a place where people can get those degrees.
We have several people there working on undergraduate degrees. We have several people there working on graduate degrees.
I think continuing education is something that's being used a lot more. I know from city government side that we encourage people that work for the city to go to the campus and take further courses, and a lot more are using that.
I have been on boards where we've tried to do surveys to tap various and sundry things, and people immediately will say, oh, call IPFW, they know how to do a survey, they'll do a survey for us.
We use the IPFW quite a bit in a number of areas. Just in the last year, we've had some of the professors from the campus had a group that looked at our police and safety areas. We resolved a discrimination suit that had been pending against the city for some time because of the efforts of some of the professors there giving us background, looking into those things.
I think by doing things like the Forte Festival, by having the other kinds of civic events that have been held here, it gives people a chance to come into campus doorways and not feel threatened. And I think that's the way to approach growth for campuses and awareness of educational opportunities.
We're very proud in Fort Wayne of what we think are our artistic and cultural advantages, and clearly one of the strong parts of our artistic endeavors are the things that are done out at the campus.
The theater also does a marvelous job of being a community service organization as far as allowing actors and actresses, budding actors and actresses in the community to be part of it, and then just providing some very interesting entertainment, things that perhaps the civic theater or some of the church-related theaters might not do.
It gives people something to appreciate and enjoy the kind of life they have. And the people that get involved in that, I think everyone benefits from that.
The Philharmonic really has a very unique position with IPFW. For always, I think we've admired what the other person has done. But as of 1987, we have now 2 artist-in-residence programs. And this means that we jointly employ the conductor and 4 musicians. The conductor teaches. He has responsibility to a campus orchestra and a youth symphony, which draws on students from all the public and parochial schools in the area.
If you're not involved in the arts, and if your people aren't involved in the arts, they're missing a lot of what life's all about. And we're here to work, and we're here to produce, but we can work harder and produce more if we feel comfortable with our lives, if we feel challenged by our lives, if we look at what there is beyond the normal workday.
I think without an IPFW, we would have an extreme void here, culturally and educationally.
I want Fort Wayne to be a college town in the best sense of the word. I want the vitality, the thought, the challenge of ideas that comes with a campus atmosphere, with the university atmosphere, a university in the true sense of the word, a partnership of people, of professors, of politicians and government, all exploring ideas, discussing ideas, and trying to find the best thing they can do. We can do that here with the campus we've got, with the university we've got, but we need to support it even more.
I think that the business community and I think that the academic community have to come closer together because we can help each other. We can help each other in a lot of ways.
I don't think we could have a community that's growing. I don't think we could have a community that's dynamic without having that university there and without having that university continue to grow in this community.
All of us in northeastern Indiana are very fortunate. Fortunate to have IPFW's accredited degree programs. It's nationally recognized faculty involved in teaching, research, and service that affect our lives. Fortunate to have the resources, the vitality that comes with a university. Your university, Indiana University, Purdue University at Fort Wayne.
It's a tradition which has become one of the most popular student events on the Bloomington campus each year. Earlier this month, for the 8th year in a row, Bob Knight stepped up to the microphone and spoke directly to a standing room only crowd of more than 3,000 Indiana University students. For 2 hours, Professor Robert M. Knight lectured, inspired, and motivated. He answered questions and issued challenges to his student audience, and he did it all in typical Bob Knight style.
Getting an education is just like stealing, because you can take it here and take it there and take it from everywhere. And you don't ever have to give it back. And when you're going to college, what you have is a license to steal. And what you get, the key, is everything that you take away with you. It's the only place in the world that you can take away anything you want and never have to pay for it or give it back. And not only that, but it's what will last you longer than anything else that you'll ever encounter. Whatever the problem that confronts you, whatever the ghost that chases you around, you can work at it and you can get control of it. And you do so because that's the absolute best thing for you.
Coach Knight, with your aggressive means of coaching, how do you earn the respect instead of resentment from your team members?
Well, yeah, I've never really worried a great deal about it. In fact, if I was a player, I'd resent some of the things I said. Well, like I said last year, I've gotten to the point where it's really hard. If I had a beard, it would be hard for you to tell the difference between me and Santa Claus. I mean, we're both kind of easygoing, overweight, benevolent characters. That's kind of how they root like hell for us this year. I don't know whether we're going to catch it or not. I mean, it's going to be interesting. The ball's going to be flying a little bit. And they aren't always going to catch it. And they aren't always going to pass it where the hell it ought to be passed. But I think they're going to try like hell, and I think that you're going to respond to them. And I know that they respond to you. Good luck to all of you. Thank you.
As we are at halftime tonight of the women's basketball game, Great Lakes Valley Conference, Indiana-Purdue leads at halftime 45-41 over Lewis University of Romeoville, Illinois. Dan, halftime stats?
Yeah, let me go down the scoring for both teams, and then I'll give you some statistics here, Dave. Leading the leading Mastodons is Lisa Miller with 15 points, followed by Amy Newhouser. By Tina Merrill with 12, Amy Newhouser with 10, Dawn Harbaugh with 2, Pam Edwards with 2, and Robin Scott with 4 for the 45. For Lewis, the Lewis Flyers with 41 points. They're led by their leading scorer, Chris Toscas, with 11, followed closely by Krista Eshu with 8. Nancy Niego and Donna Obradowitz both have 7. And then they have Julie Harris with 4, Renee Kanak with 2, Jackie Wayne with 2. IPFW shot 44% from the field on 15 of 34 field goal attempts, while Lewis shot 43% on 18 of 42. Lewis shot 50% from the three-point range, while IPFW was 4 for 5 for 80% from the from the three-point range. IPFW shooting 80% on 11 of 13 free throws. Lewis shooting 75%. A statistic that I think is real effective here is rebounds. IPFW has 26, led by Lisa Miller with 10, so she's leading scorer and leading rebounder. 15 points and 10 rebounds here at halftime, Dave.
That's a big job for not the tallest person on the floor. Lisa at 5'9", coming up with 10 rebounds, and this has been a very active game. As Lewis will now inbound the ball to start the second half. And the man-to-man pressure exerted by IPFW. Nancy Nigo picked up her dribble. Now it goes inside, and Indiana-Purdue comes out with it.
And Robin Scott's the one who got the hand on the ball to knock it loose again. Good defensive play there by Krista Eshu to knock the ball out of Lisa Miller's hand on the drive to the bucket.
She tipped it away on her way to the basket. Pam Edwards moves inside, back outside to Tina Manier. And I think Lewis is opening up in that zone they had at the start of the ball game. Dan, nice rebound by Amy Newhouser. Another rebound by Robin Scott. And something's being waved off here, and I'm not sure about the call, Dan. Someone else.
Looks like they're going to call that foul on Lisa Miller, even though she was not involved in the play at all. It was away from the play, and Robin Scott has a bucket taken away from her.
Well, I guess maybe when we review the tapes next week, we might be able to see whether something unusual took place there or not. At any rate, it eliminated the basket. And again, we see, and this time probably an over-the-back call on number 24, Jackie Wayne. Number 4, Dan?
No, Dave, I had made a mistake. The official scorebook only had her for 2.
Okay.
So that gives her 3, and they only have one other player in foul trouble, and that's Julie Harris with 3.
Well, that still puts Jackie Wayne in a tough spot now, having drawn that third foul so quickly at the start of the second half. Indiana-Purdue with moving the ball very well around the outside. Gets in trouble inside. When they go inside, they've got to either put it up or keep right on moving through. Quick shot by Nancy Nigo. Rebound by Robin Scott. Robin doing a yeoman's job inside. Quickly inside. And this time they get to outside jumper at the baseline. No good.
Well, we played a minute and a half, Dave, and the score still stands 45-41. Neither one of the teams can find the range here.
Couple of fighters punching back and forth. And we do get the basket this time by Chris Toscas. Pam Edwards inside and made a nice move.
That's the best move I've ever seen her make, Dave. She had the head fake and went underneath the arms of Chris Toscas, and Chris Toscas with 2 fouls can't afford to pick up a third one here early in the second half.
Pam got her hand on the ball defensively there. Robin Scott just playing real tight. Good help defense. That time we see the rebound basket going up. And a foul being called underneath this time against Lisa Miller.
Yes, I believe they're going to call it on Lisa, and that's her third. She just got out manhandled there. She was trying very hard to get position, but Chris Toscas at 6'1", Lisa Miller at 5'8", 5'9".
And Jackie Wayne in there at 6'2".
Just a tough job for Lisa Miller.
That's right. So Lisa sits down for a short rest. The ball around and no good. On the floor, we'll see what happens here. It comes loose and around. Now Pam Edwards decides she'll take charge of this. Lisa Manier quickly down the floor. Jump shot up, no good. And the Flyers with a lot of people out front. Nancy Nego misses that layup. And we'll see where the foul is called this time.
Well, Lewis had a 3-on-0 break, and Tina Merrill really hustled back to force, I believe it was number 11, Krista Eshu, to adjust her shot. She missed it, but they still had 3 people under the bucket to get the rebound. So
Lewis has been coming with that inbounds pass, quick pass right underneath the basket, and that time the only thing that could stop it was a quick hack across the arm.
Well, and IPFW quickly has 4 fouls. They only had 4 the whole first half, and they have 4 here in the second half with less than 3 minutes gone.
Long outside jumper, three-pointer.
Tightens up the score considerably, Dave.
It sure does. Indiana Purdue needs to get off of the square here and get something to... As we are at halftime tonight of the women's basketball game, Great Lakes Valley Conference, Indiana Purdue leads at halftime 45-41 over Lewis University of Romeoville, Illinois. Dan, halftime stats?
Yeah, let me go down the scoring for both teams, and then I'll give you some statistics here, Dave. Leading the Mastodons is Lisa Miller with 15 points, followed by Amy Newhouse. Excuse me, by Tina Merrill with 12. Amy Newhouser with 10, Dawn Harbaugh with 2, Pam Edwards with 2, and Robin Scott with 4 for the 45. For Lewis, the Lewis Flyers with 41 points, they're led by their leading scorer, Chris Toscas, with 11, followed closely by Krista Eshu with 8, Nancy Niego and Donna Obradowicz both have 7, and then they have Julie Harris with 4, Renee Kanak with 2, Jackie Wayne with 2. IPFW shot 44% from the field on 15 of 34 field goal attempts, while Lewis shot 43% on 18 of 42. Lewis shot 50% from the three-point range, while IPFW was 4 for 5 for 80% from the from the three-point range. IPFW shooting 80% on 11 of 13 free throws. Lewis shooting 75%. A statistic that I think is real effective here is rebounds. IPFW has 26, led by Lisa Miller with 10, so she's leading scorer and leading rebounder. 15 points and 10 rebounds here at halftime, Dave.
That's a big job for not the tallest person on the floor. Lisa at 5'9", coming up with 10 rebounds. And this has been a very active game. As Lewis will now inbound the ball to start the second half. And the man-to-man pressure exerted by IPFW. Nancy Nego picked up her dribble. Now it goes inside. And Indiana Purdue comes out with it.
And Robin Scott's the one who got the hand on the ball to knock it loose again. Good defensive play there by Krista Eshu to knock the ball out of Lisa Miller's hand on the drive to the bucket.
She tipped it away on her way to the basket. Pam Edwards moves inside, back outside to Tina Manier. And I think Lewis is opening up in that zone they had at the start of the ball game. Dan, nice rebound by Amy Newhouser. Another rebound by Robin Scott. And something's being waved off here, and I'm not sure about the call, Dan. Someone else.
Looks like they're going to call that foul on Lisa Miller, even though she was not involved in the play at all. It was away from the play, and Robin Scott has a bucket taken away from her.
Well, I guess maybe when we review the tapes next week, we might be able to see whether something unusual took place there or not. At any rate, it eliminated the basket. And again, we see, and this time probably an over-the-back call on number 24, Jackie Wayne. Number 4, Dan?
No, Dave, I had made a mistake. The official scorebook only had her for 2.
Okay.
So that gives her 3, and they only have one other player in foul trouble, and that's Julie Harris with 3.
Well, that still puts Jackie Wayne in a tough spot now, having drawn that third foul so quickly at the start of the second half. Deanna Purdue with moving the ball very well around the outside. Gets in trouble inside. When they go inside, they've got to either put it up or keep right on moving through. Quick shot by Nancy Nego. Rebound by Robin Scott. Robin doing a yeoman's job inside. Quickly inside. And this time they get the outside jumper at the baseline. No good.
Well, we played a minute and a half, Dave, and the score still stands 45-41. Neither one of the teams can find the range here.
Couple of fighters punching back and forth. And we do get the basket this time by Chris Toskis. Pam Edwards inside and made a nice move.
That's the best move I've ever seen her make, Dave. She had the head fake and went underneath the arms of Chris Toskis, and Chris Toskis with 2 fouls can't afford to pick up a third one here early in the second half.
Pam got her hand on the ball defensively there. Robin Scott just playing real tight. Good help defense. That time we see the rebound basket going up. And a foul being called underneath this time against Lisa Miller.
Yes, I believe they're going to call it on Lisa, and that's her third. She just got out manhandled there. She was trying very hard to get position, but Chris Toskis at 6'1", Lisa Miller at 5'8", 5'9".
And Jackie Wayne in there at 6'2".
Just a tough job for Lisa Miller.
That's right. So Lisa sits down for a short rest. The ball around and no good. On the floor, we'll see what happens here. It comes loose and around. Now Pam Edwards decides she'll take charge of this. Lisa Manier quickly down the floor. Jump shot up, no good. And the Flyers with a lot of people out front. Nancy Nego misses that layup. And we'll see where the foul is called this time.
Well, Lewis had a 3-on-0 break, and Tina Merrill really hustled back to force, I believe it was number 11, Krista Eshu, to adjust her shot. She missed it, but they still had 3 people under the bucket to get the rebound. So
Lewis has been coming with that inbounds pass, quick pass right underneath the basket, and that time the only thing that could stop it was a quick hack across the arm.
Well, and IPFW quickly has 4 fouls. They only had 4 the whole first half, and they have 4 here in the second half with less than 3 minutes gone.
Long outside jumper, three-pointer.
Tightens up the score considerably, Dave.
It sure does. Indiana Purdue needs to get off of the square here and get something to Not a young, inexperienced ball club.
These kids, most of these kids have played together for at least 3 years now. There's obviously a couple sophomores interspersed in there, but.
And we see a nice move and a jump shot by Amy Newhouser.
Well, and that's what got IPFW started in the first half, if you remember, Dave. Lewis packed it inside, didn't score very well, and it took a couple shots by Amy Newhouser on the outside to open up that defense.
Yep, they had to come back with that 14 to 15-foot jumper.
Into the Lewis lineup, number 34, Carrie Ann Wager.
Lewis ball underneath their own basket with IPFW leading 51-48. Lewis inside. Chris Toscas was really covered, but there we see the jump shot by Jackie Wayne. Don Harbaugh looking inside. IPFW setting up. Long jump shot. Two-pointer by Don Harbaugh. Amy Newhouser just exerts that kind of token pressure out front. Keeps Nancy Nego on her toes as she tries to get the offense for Lewis University cranked and moving up. Nice jump shot in the lane by Krista Eshu. Krista Eshu seems to be contributing a little bit more this second half, Dan. Nice move inside by Robin. She missed. Back up by Pam Edwards, and there's another bouncer that won't go anywhere.
Both teams have very soft touches tonight, Dave. You mentioned Krista Eshu. Yes, she's only scored 4 points here in the second half, but she's done an awful lot of passing and moving the ball around to get Lewis back into the ball game.
There she is with the ball again, and another jump shot, that time off the mark, rebounded by Pam Edwards. Tina Merrill with the ball on the outside. Inside pass to Robin Scott. Again, it bounces around, no good. Don Harbaugh gets the ball up, no good. And Lewis University brings the ball up to court. Again, Amy Newhouser exerting the pressure on the ball handler, Nancy Nego. And I think a blocking foul called. I wasn't quite sure. We heard the whistle, and then there's been a delay.
I think he called it on Chris Toscas, number 51, which is her third.
That could be a critical foul.
But I think, Coach High for Lewis is going to take her out and give her a little bit of rest, but I think they can't leave her out very long, and she's got to come in and play just as hard as she has the first 27 minutes of this ball game because they need her to be a part of it.
We see a kick violation against Lewis, so the clock will be reset, and Indiana Purdue will inbound the ball, left side of their court. Tina Merrill with the ball into Amy Newhouser. Amy takes that jump shot outside. No good. Nancy Nego was looking for that quick outlet pass on the fast break. Robin Scott with the rebound and throws the ball away. Well, Lewis keeps that pressure on the ball handler no matter where they are. If they've just rebounded, if they're down trying to set up offensively. And that time forced the turnover.
Well, again, it's back to that same thing that the offense is just trying too quickly to get down the court, and they all ran away from the ball. And Robin had picked up her dribble, didn't have anywhere to go, and Dawn could not get turned back around to pick up the pass.
And there were two people closing in on Robin at that point, so she didn't want to lose it. And there is a momentary.
Well, I think when that ball went out of bounds, it hit over there where they keep the water and
spilled some water
knocked some water on the floor, yeah.
The problem seems to have been solved. Lewis is ready to inbound the ball. Chris Eshu, and now we'll see, I think, another blocking call. Blocking foul against Lewis Lady Flyers.
Dave, that's the third or fourth one that the officials have called tonight. You don't see that very often, so it's either very obvious or the officials happen to be looking for it tonight.
That one I think I saw, and she came up from the blind side, from the back side, and didn't give the one step for the defender to be able to move.
More importantly, though, that's Bradovitz who got called on that, and that's her fourth foul here.
Another one of the starters for the Lady Flyers. Nancy Nego plays real tough defense. as we remember, her 6 brothers and sisters have ahead of her.
Right. That's a genetic trait in that family, I believe.
They know how to play the defense, and the rest of the game for that matter. Nice aggressive move that time by Dawn Harbaugh to go into the lane. It was heavily trafficked, but she drew the foul and will go to the free throw line.
Well, we haven't seen that aggressiveness very much from IPFW as far as taking the ball directly to the basket. They've driven in the lane, but they go straight up or fall back. Dawn just continued to the basket and was able to pick up the hacking foul.
So Dawn Harbaugh will attempt here to increase that 53-50 lead for the IPFW Mastodon. First free throw is up and good.
IPFW, a very good free throw shooting team. Before last Thursday's game, they were shooting 71%. They shot very well Thursday and shooting very well tonight, so I'm sure that will move up.
Second one is also good. Well, hit those free throws, and that sure takes a lot of pressure off of other things in the game. Amy Newhouser that time hit the deck. Almost came back to block the shot, but she did pick off the rebound. Quickly over to Dawn Harbaugh. Cross court to Tina Merrill. Tina drives the baseline and didn't quite get the shot up there where she'd like to have it. Lisa Miller battles inside. 2 rebounds and draws the foul. Good hustle.
And they're going to call that foul on number 24, or Jackie Wayne, and that will be her 4th. So now Lewis has 2 players with 4 fouls, and Chris Toscas, who will be coming back into the ballgame with 3. Lisa Miller just really hustled and worked hard underneath the boards there.
She certainly did that time.
That's how she gets those 10 rebounds a half.
That's right.
By the way, Dave, she's averaging 9 rebounds a game and is at the top of the conference. She's second in scoring and one of the top 5 in rebounding.
And obviously her rebounding she does with intelligence and position more than she does with size and physical strength. Not to say she isn't strong. Quick pass down the court. Chris Toscas puts in a layup. Caught IPFW sleeping just a little bit on the defensive end.
Well, I think it was Eshu looking down the court. Did a very good job of hitting Toscas being open.
And we see a loose ball bounce off of the Lewis Flyers so that Indiana-Purdue will have the ball underneath their own basket.
IPFW playing very well right now, but they can't seem to pull away from this pesky Lewis team, and so obviously Lewis is playing very well too.
Well, Lewis is a good sound basketball team. They have size, shooting, quickness, and intensity. IPFW moving the ball around the perimeter, looking for a shot. Inside to Shelly Sands, whose shot was short. Nancy Nego comes out with the ball. Over to Julie Harris. Three-pointer on its way by Krista Eshu.
Ties the game at 55.
And we have a tie ball
with 11 minutes and 18 seconds to go.
Dawn Harbaugh that time just kind of patiently looked and worked her way through most of the team, and then all of a sudden had a short jumper.
Well, I don't think it was her intent to shoot. I think she was looking to pass off, and it just opened up in front of her. And she was in pretty big country in there.
Lisa Miller comes out with the rebound. Nice drop off. And probably for about the 6th or 7th time tonight when Lisa Miller has been stopped, she's been looking for that foul and hasn't always gotten it.
That's
this
right.
time she did.
Here's the replay of that. She takes it inside. She's fouled by Nancy Niego. And you talked about the tough-nosed defense Nancy's played all night, and that's only her 2nd foul of the evening.
She draws a well-deserved rest. I doubt that she'll be out of the lineup very long. Lisa Miller at the line, shooting 2. First one is up and good.
And that's her first point of the second half here, Dave, so that gives her 16. She had 27 on Thursday night against Kentucky State.
Second one is up and also good. Yeah, Lisa's work ethic on the floor will, she'll be productive sooner or later. Watch the block.
No communication there.
Right.
Lisa was working very hard playing defense and making Lewis work hard to get the ball across the court, but nobody was talking to her on the backside. And that's Lisa's fourth fourth personal foul.
And that's a case where the teammate has to let you know what's coming up, because there's absolutely no way you can hustle and move that quickly and be able to see behind you. So Lisa is very quickly replaced in the lineup. Jump shot by Lewis is no good. Robin Scott comes up with the rebound, and again Robin has difficulty moving the ball. Krista Toscas picks up the loose ball and puts it in.
Well, everybody seems to be leaving after the rebound is made, and Robin had to pick up her dribble and had no choice.
3-point shot up by Tina Merrill, no good. Robin Scott rebounded the ball, tried to put it back up, but was fouled by number 34, Carrie Ann Wagger.
There you see the score on your screen, 59-57, with a little over 10 minutes left in the ball game.
And we have Tina Merrill going to the line. Tina, another excellent free throw shooter. Or no, it should be Robin Scott.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Robin, a good free throw shooter.
There you're able to see a replay of Robin being fouled, with Carrie Ann just grabbing a hold of Robin's arm, going for the ball, though.
Both teams are now in the bonus, so we'll see a lot of free throws from here to the end. And Robin misses. So Lewis comes down with the ball and a chance to tie or take the lead on this possession as we approach the 10-minute mark of the second half. Pam Edwards, rebound for Indiana Purdue with a possible 3-on-1 break, although it closes up. Tina Merrill takes the ball down. We'll see. I don't know whether that will count or not, Dan. If he counts continuation, the basket's good.
Should not count.
He
should be a 1-and-1 by...
He's made no signal yet, other than he didn't say it was good, so it must not have been.
Now they're going to call a 1-and-1 before the shot. There's a good shot of Tina, the senior.
And that's not an unusual sight for Tina Merrill. We've seen 4 years worth of an awful lot of free throws dropping through softly into that net.
Well, just a few games ago, she set the all-time school record for women total career points.
So Indiana Purdue moves back out to a 61-57 lead. 9:45 of the second half. Lewis moving the ball against the man-to-man defense, drives to the basket. Krista Eshu, been very aggressive, played very well here in the second half, as she did in the first half. Amy Newhouser checking back into the IPFW lineup, perhaps to draw the defensive assignment against Krista Eshu.
Well, Dave, as I looked down at the bench, IPFW has really only played 8 women this game, but they've had an awful lot of substitutions, so it's been a good chance to get some kids to rest.
As we see Krista at the free throw line, the first one is up and no good. As you see Krista now, she attempts her second free throw. That one was up and also no good, and Pam Edwards with the rebound.
Robin Scott did a very good job of blocking number 31, Enciniego, out of off the boards there.
And there's the 3-point shot by Tina Merrill, and it's up and good. I'd like to take this time, Dan, to thank the crew, the College Access Channel 6, and the Learning Resource Center at IPFW for their participation in these live productions of our game tonight. As we see Lewis taking a timeout, Indiana Purdue has upped the lead to 64-57. And we have 9 minutes and 21 seconds to go. Tina Merrill with the 3-point shot that added to that previous 4-point lead. And now Indiana Purdue may have its biggest lead at 7. Is that about?
That's I think that's the biggest lead, Dave, and it's a good timeout by Coach High over on Lewis's side. With that basket for Tina Merrill, that gave her 17, and she and Lisa Miller lead the leading Mastodons here with 17 apiece. Followed closely, not closely, but also helping them is Dawn Harbaugh with 8. 6 of those here in the second half. As you mentioned a couple times, Dawn's just done a really nice job picking it up. On the other side of the ledger, Chris Toscas has 17 and is helped considerably by a second half effort of Krista Eshu, who's now got 15 points.
Our next live telecast will be a doubleheader on Saturday, February 1. At 6 p.m., the Lady Pumas from St. Joseph's College in Rensselaer, Indiana, will meet the IPFW Mastodons. At 8, the Pumas from St. Joseph's College take on the IPFW men's team. Catch all the action on college basketball right here on College Access Channel 6. Play resumes. Lewis University on the attack. And on the inside play, looks like Robin Scott will draw a foul against the very tough inside player, Chris Toscas. And anytime there's a foul against Chris and she doesn't score, it might be to the team's advantage. Although I suspect Chris is also a pretty good free throw shooter. As she hits the first and will receive a second. Chris Toscas looking for the second free throw here. And it is perfect. Cuts the lead to 64-59. Tina Muir up the floor quickly for IPFW. IPFW looking around the perimeter. Another three-point shot taken by Tina Merrill. That one no good. Rebounded by Nancy Nego.
Tina really forced that one, Dave.
Somebody's got to help on the defense here, and there was, I think, an unusual call here. First of all, a foul, I think, on Indiana Purdue, and then a retaliatory punch, perhaps inadvertently, on the Lewis Flyers, and we will see what the call is here.
Well, it appeared, Dave, that Tina Merrill is going to pick up the foul on the shot by Chris Toscas, so Chris will be shooting two, but then it appears that Chris got a technical foul called against her for the retaliatory foul. It happened, I was watching a ball game on television this afternoon and saw the same kind of play. And so if indeed the outcome is the same as I think it will be, IPFW will be shooting two shots at the technical and will have the ball out of bounds after Chris Tosca shoots two on the foul during the shot.
Foul. And I'm not sure whether they call it a two-shot foul or a one-on-one, whether Tina got Chris Toscas after the shot. We'll see. The referees are giving an explanation at the moment to Coach Rosansky and Coach Clark. And we'll see shortly. But I think you're right, Dan. There'll probably be two free throws at each end. And then on the technical, possession to Indiana Purdue. Unless they rule it a false double foul. I don't know, Dan, whether it be an alternate possession part of this or not.
Well, I saw the official make the technical signal, so.
First free throw by Chris Toscas is missed. She will have a second one. Then there will be some free throws shot by IPFW. Chris's second free throw rolls around and in. So we have a 64-60 score. 8:56 left in the second half as we go to the other end now. And Lisa Miller will shoot the technical foul, two shots, as every technical is this year in basketball. The first shot by Lisa Miller is good. Lisa will have number two. That free throw is also good.
Good substitution on Coach Rosinski's part. Tina Merrill, after being injured, had to come out of the ball game because the official called the official's timeout, and she brought in Lisa Miller to shoot the technical fouls. Very good free throw shooter.
So we have a 66-60 score. IPFW in the lead and with the ball. Lisa Miller moves to the lane, back outside. Indiana Purdue looking inside, looking outside. Pam Edwards wants to make a move, comes back outside. Very aggressive defense by these Lady Flyers from Lewis University. And as Amy Newhouser makes the move down the lane, she draws a foul.
IPFW did a very good job that time moving the ball around the perimeter and waiting until using much of the shot clock. I believe the shot clock was down to about 5 seconds left before they attempted to drive the ball to the bucket. I don't think that they're letting the air out of the ball yet, but they were waiting to get a good shot, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, good patience and good decisions now will go a long way. First free throw by Amy Newhouser is good. As she attempts now the second free throw, and Mitt rolls around and no good. Rebounded by Chris Toscas.
Back up to that 77-point lead, though, Dave. That's, I believe, the biggest. No, they were at 9 points once.
I don't remember. I know they got to 7, and whether they got to 9, I can't say for sure.
That's the 4th foul on Tina Manier.
Tina Manier, her 4th personal foul. Team's over the limit.
And Dawn Harbaugh will come back in for her. And Shelly Sands comes in for Lisa Miller.
Okay. Nancy goes to the line. Nancy hits the first free throw. Cuts the lead to 6. And she has number 2 on the way. That 2 is good.
That gives her 9 for the game, Dave.
Played a good steady ball game.
She sure has.
Handles the ball well. Tough defense.
Unforced error there on the part of IPFW.
Yeah, Dawn Harbaugh that time looking to see what play might be available to her. Dribbled the ball off her foot.
IPFW had 16 turnovers the first half. Didn't appear to have that many, but that was just an unforced one right there. Good job
hustle
on Pam Edwards' part there to block out.
And there we see probably an unnecessary foul, and it could be an important one for the Lady Flyers, as number 51, Chris Toscas, picks up her 4th, I believe, in the dance.
That's her 4th foul, Dave, and I believe some frustration starting to show on the part of Chris. She picked up that retaliatory foul at the other end when she got the technical, and right here we just saw, like you mentioned, an unnecessary foul giving her a 4th, and I think it's just she's being defensed very heavily, and you get frustrated when things don't necessarily go your way.
Although it's been a pretty good night for her. And there again we see the ball going loose, picked up and in by Shelly Sands. A good hustle basket. Nancy Nego with the ball. Lewis looking inside, but takes the long three-pointer. Rebound, Pam Edwards. Going to be a big rebound total for the Mastodons tonight when this game is over.
She's done a very nice job. Yeah, in fact, Lewis was averaging 51 rebounds per game compared to IPFW's 37, but it appears that IPFW's done a nice job on boxing out and out-rebounding the Lady Flyers.
Robin Scott with an outside jumper, and it's good. That time, Jackie Wayne, the 6'2 player inside, decided not to go outside against Robin, and Robin put it in. Nice drive down the lane by Nancy Nego. Nobody can put this ball game away. Both teams very aggressive, playing very hard. Pam Edwards looks inside, moves inside, and draws a foul coming down the lane. We'll see who that's on. Could be costly if it's on 51, but I think it's on 31. Nancy Nego.
No, they called on number 15, Julie Harris, 15. But that's also her 4th.
All right.
But they did count the bucket, Dave, for Pam Edwards.
And that is a 9-point lead. So whether we had one before or not, we do now.
Well, you talked about the fact that neither team's been able to really put this game away, but it's not because of a lack of consistency. Both teams just playing very well defensively and offensively.
Right. Neither team will give up.
That's right.
Pam Edwards at the line for a 3-point play. Free throw good. Stay there, Pam. They might give you another one.
This is definitely a 10-point lead, which is the biggest IPFW has enjoyed.
Six minutes and 45 seconds to go, and we get a block shot that time by Tina Merrill on Nancy Nego, and Nancy got tangled up with the ball and called for traveling. So Indiana Purdue will have possession of the ball, a 10-point lead, 6 minutes and 41 seconds of play left, and it looked like we might see a little pressure defense, but Lewis drops back.
Well, 6 minutes is still an awful long time left in this ball game.
It's a lot of time.
You're going to call Tina Merrill for a blocking underneath the bucket there.
Well, Tina was looking for the good position. Got a little bit too far underneath the basket, so will go to the other end, and free throws will be attempted by Krista Eshu. Christoskis back into the lineup after a short rest. Chris will have to be careful from here on out. She has 4 fouls. First free throw by Krista Eshu is good. Cuts the IPFW lead to 9. 74-65. Free throw number 2 coming up. Krista looks at the basket, shoots and scores.
Krista now has 17 for the night.
Lisa Miller getting ready to check back in for IPFW. Lisa has been out with 4 fouls. Dawn Harbaugh penetrates the lane. Inside by, nice pass by Tina Merrill. Nice shot by Robin Scott. Back to a 10-point lead. Tina Merrill now putting the defensive pressure on Nancy Nego as the Flyers go out of bounds. Turnover. IPFW with some substitutions. Inbounds the ball to Lisa Miller. She brings it across. Nobody picking her up yet. Pam Edwards out to Tina Merrill. Nice pass inside by Tina Merrill. Tina's been looking for those teammates inside a lot here lately and been hitting them. Lisa Miller with how many
19
points? 19 points.
Going for her 20th here. A little bit below her average. She averages 22.4 points per game. Timeout to Lewis. A good timeout on their part, I believe, because again they've slipped up to a 10-point lead, Dave, and they can't afford here with 5 minutes and 49 seconds to keep falling further and further behind. And right now IPFW is really playing well. This is Coach Brzezinski has to be happy with tonight's game and the fact that they came back with kind of a lackluster performance against Kentucky State, and now coming in and playing very well tonight.
And with the capability of the substitutions and keeping people fresh and ready to go, IPFW seems to be getting a bit of an advantage now with the fatigue factor setting in just a little bit on Lewis.
Well, as I said, Dave, the amount of substitutions makes it appear like more players have played. Really only 8 players have played tonight for IPFW, but if I hadn't looked over and saw how many people had their warm-up jerseys off, I would have thought we played a considerably larger number than that.
Well, one of the nice things about the IPFW team is that there are people there that can play forward or guard, and Robin Scott's gone inside a lot tonight, particularly defensively, so that gives you good flexibility. And you can play a lot of people at almost any position. There we see Lisa Miller eyeing the first free throw, and it's good. Lisa's 20th point as she goes for 21. Free throw is up. No good. Rebound by Lewis. 77-66 lead for Indiana Purdue. Under 6 minutes of play. They're looking inside, and again, Robin Scott really battling on the defense. Says,
Well, you young fans who are watching this ball game, that is the way to play defense. She does not reach around with the arm and hook. She actually moves her feet to get in front and knocks the ball away. And she's done that all night, fronting that offensive player.
And that time, Jackie Wayne got loose underneath all alone and put the ball up for 2. Dawn Harbaugh bringing it down. Indiana Purdue with a lot of good movement on the offense. They go down both sidelines. They go down to the middle. They go down the baseline. Jumper missed that time by Pam Edwards. Lewis coming down. Lewis, every possession's important for Lewis at this point as they're down by 9. And I believe we're going to have a holding foul called on Robin Scott.
Right. And there she violated what I just talked about. Instead of moving her feet to get around in front, she was just reaching around with her arm, and the official called her for pushing from behind. She's played a very, very strong defensive game tonight against a very, very strong offensive player.
Chris Toscas at the free throw line. hoping to cut into the Indiana-Purdue lead. First free throw is good.
That gives her 21, Dave. That's right at her average.
That little rest that she got a little while ago, I think, did her a lot of good. She's come back very strong. Shots are falling in. Indiana-Purdue just has to keep their consistent play going. Keep the ball moving. Keep the pressure on defensively. Good patience. Look for the good shot. That time the attempt inside, and the IPFW players did not move to the ball. Nancy Nego with a turnaround jump shot on the baseline, and we have all of a sudden a 77-72 ball game like we have all night, Dan. It can't stretch out very far.
Nope. And again, it's not been a case of IPFW necessarily letting down. Their intensity level still seems to be up. It's just they're not converting.
Things get awfully tight inside. We're going to have an offensive foul, I think.
No, they're going to call the foul before the shot.
Before the shot.
Very good call. I was the foul did take place before she shot the ball. That's her fourth.
4
You
minutes.
see the play again. See right there, she was not making an effort to shoot.
Not at the time the contact was made.
Took place.
So to the line, Donna Obradovitz, number 32, and IPFW calls a timeout. Probably a good timeout, Dan. They need to get organized here in terms of just exactly how they want to approach these last 4 minutes. They have a 5-point lead that may be down to 3, so it's not going to be easy.
Well, and we've seen it so many times when somebody has tried to hold the ball or slow it down or whatever, change the pace that they've been playing all night. You lose that continuity, and again, I don't think IPFW has done that. I hope that certainly isn't what they plan on doing here. I think what she basically wanted to do with Coach Rosinski was call timeout and settle her players down a little bit, get them back running their offense, look inside, take the open shot on the outside if you've got it, use some of the 30-second shot clock. Don't just come down and fire away. On the other hand, Lewis coach has got to be real happy. They were down by 11 just a few moments ago and have now cut that lead to 5. So they scored the last 6 points with an opportunity to score 2 more here. And again, this is the same thing we see every night in the conference. You can't expect an easy win no matter who you're playing.
That's right.
Or where you're playing. We've seen that with the men particularly. They've lost 2 at home that I'm certain they would like to have back again. But it's just you've just got to play your very best every single night in the conference.
Well, the type of play that we've seen in this ball game tonight, Dan, has had a lot of action in the lanes, and the officials are pretty well letting them play. So it's difficult for Indiana-Purdue offensively when their size differential doesn't quite match up with the Lady Flyers. First free throw is good. Donna Obradovitz looking for number 2. And looking for an opportunity to cut the lead to 3 points. Free throw is up, and she does. So with 4:05 to go, 77-74 lead, and it's important now that Indiana-Purdue come down and get a very positive offensive play and points as a result. They've got plenty of time, so they don't really need to have to worry about pressing the defense. Tina Merrill.
Shot clock is down to 5, though. They need to get a shot here.
And fortunately for Indiana-Purdue, Lewis fouled.
Well, and the shot clock was stuck on 1 second. So I'm not sure they could have got a shot off if they hadn't been fouled by Krista Eshu there.
Well, sometimes it's just as well to be lucky as it is to be good.
That's true.
Maybe that'll be a break for the Mastodons to get things going here. They've been stuck on that 77 for a long time. First free throw is up and good by Tina Manier.
Gives her 9 for the night, Dave.
Tina Manier will go for point number 10 with this second free throw. It is up and good. 2 big points. Stretches that lead back to 5 for the Mastodons, so that the Lady Flyers from Lewis University will not be able to tie the score on this possession. But there's a lot of game time left as a long 3-pointer goes up. No good. Amy Newhouser comes out with the rebound. Indiana Purdue moving very quickly. Three-point shot by Tina Merrill is good. And does that make everybody in those white shirts awfully happy?
And I believe, Dave, that's her 5th three-pointer of the night. Over the public address announcement.
And she gets a block shot. But Nancy Niego comes out with a loose ball after a scramble. Amy Newhouser with the ball. Here come the Mastodons. They're on the move. Amy Newhouser goes right down the middle all the way and may have drawn a costly foul on either Chris Taskas or Jackie Wayne. Jackie Wayne, I believe, drew the foul.
And I believe that's her 5th, Dave.
Number 5. Jackie, a 6'2" junior from Bolingbrook, Illinois, fouls out for the Lady Flyers of Lewis University.
Dave, she only ended up with 4 points, but she was a real force inside on both boards and playing defense.
She's a factor inside, without a doubt. And we'll have Amy Newhouser now to shoot 2 free throws, I believe. Yes, foul in the act of shooting. And an opportunity now to push the IPFW lead back up, although she misses the first. She'll have the second opportunity here in a minute. Amy's second free throw is good.
It's her 14th.
And IPFW back to a 9-point lead. 83-74 with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock. And we see an aggressive move to the basket by number 32, Donna Abradovitz. She drew the foul. Drew the foul on Amy Newhouser, so Donna will go to the free throw line.
And she just was there a moment ago hitting 2 free throws, so.
And she'll have 2 more. And she misses the first. An opportunity to score with the clock not moving is not what Indiana Purdue wants to see right now. Second free throw is also off the rim, no good. Robin Scott with the rebound. And IPFW on the offensive attack. Moving the ball side to side, out front, looking inside. No place to go, back outside. Good patience. Three-point try, and it is good. Tina Manier. Well, all of a sudden, it's back to a 12-point lead. And a loose ball scramble. Foul called on Amy Newhouser.
Dave, that three-pointer by Tina Manier was her first bucket of the night. What an opportune time for it to come.
And IPFW just keeping that intensity going, both offensively and defensively, as we see Krista Eshu at the line. Her first free throw in, out, and in again. Krista Eshu attempting the second free throw in this possession. It is up and good.
That gives her 19 for the night, Dave. She's 5 points above her average and has really helped the cause here for Lewis.
Krista's had a big ball game. She, too, is one of those that plays with a high level of intensity. Very aggressive on the defense, as you see right there. A little over-aggressive, but it's the way she plays the game.
That's right. And with 1 minute and 53 seconds left, they've got to pull out all the stops. Oftentimes those won't be called, and she had an opportunity to knock the ball loose and just got the foul called on her.
And I guess, to be truthful, Dan, I'm really surprised as I watch Lewis University's Lady Flyers play tonight to think that they will very likely leave this ball game with a conference record of 2-5, because they are not a bad ball club.
Well, they've lost to, and four of their losses so far have been to the 3 leading conference teams in Bellarmine, Northern Kentucky, and St. Joe. And if they lose tonight, as it appears they will, it will be to they'll have lost 4 of their 5 games to the top 4 teams.
Tina Merrill looking for free throws, hit the first, missed the second, and Lewis rebounds and is on their offensive attack. Number 15 puts up a three-pointer, but there'll be a travel call. Turnover to IPFW. Inbounds with 1:44 to play. Indiana Purdue probably now will be very patient with the ball. Almost lost it. And there we see a foul against Nancy Nego, number 31 for the Lewis Flyers. It will send Tina Merrill back to the line. IPFW with an 87-76 lead. 1:32 yet to be played in this ballgame. First free throw is up and good by Tina Merrill. Tina waits for the second opportunity. That two is up and good.
23 for the night for Tina, just coming in off the bench as a sixth player and just done a great job tonight.
It sure is nice to have somebody who comes in off the bench and give you 23 points, as she can do. This is not an unusual performance for Tina Merrill at all.
Well, on the jump ball there, again, change of possession goes to Lewis, so they maintain the possession there.
1:23 to play. IPFW with a 13-point lead. Rebound basket by Chris Toscas. And we have a foul called against Nancy Nego.
And that will be her fifth, Dave.
Nancy will leave with a good ball game behind her. She has played very hard, contributed with the scoring, hustled on the defense. Been a good ball game. She's replaced by number 34, Carrie Ann Wager. And we have a timeout called by by the Lewis University Flyers. 1:06 to play.
Well, I heard Al McGuire talk about this afternoon on the radio. I've always wondered why coaches call a timeout this late in the ball game down by 11 points and what you have to gain by doing that. And what he talked about is that you want to teach your players to play just like you're only down by 1 point, and that you react the same way whether you're down by 20 or you're down by 1, and that is calling timeouts when you've got timeouts left, and doing the things defensively, doing the things offensively, and all those kinds of things. And I thought that was I hadn't looked at it that way before.
A little bit like so that you will do it, and when the time comes that you must do it.
That's right.
Yep.
Well, again, IPFW is going to come away from here with a 6-1 conference record. There you see on your screen the current standings at 5-1, but after tonight's win, they're going to come away with a 6-1 record. And with two very difficult weeks coming up, what's going to happen here, the way the conference schedule is set up, they go on the road next week to play St. Joe, the team that's leading the conference right now at 5-0. And then go down to Indianapolis on Saturday. Then they come right back the next week and play those same two teams at home. So you're going to see the same two teams within a 10-day period, and that's always a tough job. Now, it's tough from the other standpoint, too, from those two teams playing us the same. But, boy, a win on the road against St. Joe would really put a feather in our cap come tournament time.
Well, and the ladies tonight have played a very aggressive game, heads-up game.
Intelligent game, Dave.
Yes, they have.
They've not made those little mistakes that we saw them make Thursday night against Kentucky State.
So they're playing good ball. It's a good time for them to take on St. Joe. As you see, Lisa Miller missed the free throw, follow up with a rebound, and put the basket in. And there we see one of the few times I was going to say where Chris Toscas actually got away from Robin Scott, but she missed the basket.
Well, that's Robin's fifth foul. She's picked up 4 of those here late in the game, but she's just played a great game. Leaves the game with 10 points, but her value to this team was untold, Dave. She just played a great defensive game.
She can sleep well tonight and feel very proud of the job she did.
And she probably will sleep well tonight.
I imagine she'll be tired. As we see another substitution for Lewis, number 23, Jackie Wizawati.
First time in the lineup for Jackie.
What do you want to bet her teammates call her, Wiz? Number 15, Julie Harris at the line. Free throw up and good. 91-79. 45 seconds left to play. Amy Newhouser with the ball. Back to Lisa Miller. Shot clock still on, but not much of a factor. And there we see a reach-in foul on Julie Harris.
And that's her fifth, so Lewis loses its third player to a disqualification.
And that will send Tina Merrill to the line.
Tina has 23 points.
I'm not sure what Tina's season high is, but it's in the 20s somewhere.
Well, she's about 10 points above her average tonight, but again, she comes in off the bench and just does a great job for IPFW.
And her free throw is good. She'll get a second opportunity.
Those 6 3-pointers virtually broke the back of Lewis because she hit him at a really opportune time.
They were timely. Second free throw is up and good. As the Lady Mastodons hit the 93-point mark, that's a busy night. And they weren't easy. As we see a desperation three-pointer thrown up by Lewis. Indiana Purdue with the ball. And we see again a foul by number 22, Renee Kanak. Again, Tina Merrill will go to the free throw line. Tina Merrill will also sleep well tonight. She's had a busy night. First free throw is good. Number 2 on its way. Tina somewhere in the 90% free throw shooting mark. So it's not unusual to see her drop a lot of them. Second one also good. Lewis with the ball. 10 seconds left in the ball game. Jump shot up, around, no good. Seems to have been a lid on the basket for Lewis here in the last few seconds. As Lisa Miller runs out the clock, and Indiana Purdue comes away with a very, very hard-fought 95-79 win. But not very long ago, Dan, the score was what?
77-72. 77-72. 5-point lead at one point in time. And
in fact, they cut it to 3, maybe.
Right. IPFW outscored them considerably in the last 3 minutes of that ball game. Number of free throws there, which obviously helped, but that 16-point deficit at the end of the game is not indicative of how this game went. Dave, let me run down the unofficial scoring here for the victorious Mastodons of IPFW, who finished with 95. They were led in scoring tonight by Tina Merrill off the bench with 27 points. Hit a number of free throws, had 6 3-pointers. Lisa Miller was right at her average with 22. Dawn Harbaugh had 10. Tina Manier had 3. Amy Newhouser had 14, played a nice floor game, hit some timely 15-foot jump shots when she needed to. Shelley Sands had 2, Pam Edwards had 7, and Robin Scott had 10 for a total of 95 points. For the Lewis Flyers, they were led in scoring by their leading scorer and third leading scorer in the conference, Chris Toscas, with 24. And she could have had a bundle more, Dave, if some of those shots would have dropped. But again, defensively, IPFW really played well. She was followed very closely by Krista Eshu with 19. And then the scoring pace dropped off considerably with the rest of the players. Nancy Niego with 13. Donna Obradovitz with 12. Julie Harris with 5. Renee Kanak with 2. Jackie Wayne with 4. And that was the scoring for Lewis with 79. IPFW finishes this week with a 14-3 overall record and a 6-1 in the conference. As we mentioned, just a very good way to end up, start to end up the end of the first half of the conference season. And on the other hand, Lewis has got to fix some of those bridges behind him as they go to 8-6 and 2-5 in the conference.
Well, one of the things that's very encouraging, Dan, is the way the Lady Mastodons played tonight. And secondly, the fact that just a week ago or so, Lewis gave St. Joe College all they wanted in women's basketball, nearly beat them. So now it's our opportunity, and I'm not going to be surprised if we go over there and come home with a win.
Well, that'll be certainly a big feather in our cap. I'm sure it will be a real important for us come ratings time. And obviously, we need to finish in the top 2 or 3 in our region. And we were rated 6, which surprised me a little bit in this last ratings period. But these couple wins and how we do next week is going to really be telling on how we finish with the and the regional ratings.
Well, again, we have come to the close of the first game here tonight. The women's basketball team from IPFW defeated Lewis University 95.